The star of vanity, songs to the infinite depths of selling, opened. A world of great and eternal riddles. In it are myriads of candles, and he is an atom's weight among them. Our blue planet. Earth is the cradle of life and reason. For thousands of years, he's been trying to figure out where this world came from, where it goes, how it works. What place does a person have in it? We look closely into this world, but now our power allows us to touch it with the fingertips, with the instruments of space robots. For millennia ago, the priests of Babylon and each knew the brightest and most mysterious light of the night sky and not. It was incredibly flying among the stationary stars, and people were trying to read their fate into the loops of its path. And the priests of the legendary people of Maya accepted this, the way to base your calendar. For centuries, the fear of Venus' secrets has diminished. Now, not priests, but scientists were watching her, trying to understand the design of the universe. Galileo Galilei was the first on Earth to see in a telescope a celestial body like the moon, not a star like our land. At the scene of Venus' shiny point. And again the centuries were running in May, the 1761st year Michael Lomonosov, watching Venus pass between Earth and the Sun. The shining eagle surrounded the planets. That's how the atmosphere of the planets was discovered, new proof of its resemblance to the Earth. 19th century. Scientists continued to observe Venus' movement and its passage on the solar disk. The dark peaked, and it rolled on a shining dish of shale. But the optical telescopes did not allow us to look under the cloud cover of the planet. And we so wanted to see Venus' portrait of a young Earth. Radio astronomy and radar have opened up Venus for more than 1,000 years. The radio waves punctured the first breach in the clouds and in the secret surrounding the morning star. They told us about Venus' religion, the direction and speed of its rotation. And then there came a great era of first contact. The Soviet stations of Venus, one by one, landed in the designated areas of the distant planet. They told us that its surface has a temperature of 500 degrees, a pressure of 100 degrees, and Venerian air consists mainly of carbon dioxide. But we wanted to know more. 1975-year-old Soviet scientists received the first images from the surface of Venus. How did these studies go? The director of the Institute for Space Research of the Academy of Sciences of the USSR, Rainzin Vivich Sakti, tells us. First years of space research, the first years spent in the solar system reconnaissance, the first encounters with planets. They have led to the creation of your kind of new logic of researching these new objects, new points of view with direct space techniques. The question is, why are we spending so much money on these types of research? I would respond in this way. Our Earth sciences, which are essentially the existence of humanity on our planet, because we cannot live without the use of Earth's resources. Its geology, agriculture, oceanology. Today, the method used as the main method is the so-called test sites of the most interesting areas of the Earth Yapos, crust.
The most well-known areas of the ocean are numerous dances and ships, and search lots.
It can be said that millions of dollars are spent every year. And finally, our Earth sciences are getting a whole new ground range that, from a new angle, makes it possible to understand how our planet developed, how the atmosphere was formed, how that ecological balance was established. And one of these can be most interesting because in many ways this planet was shaped by similar conditions. But then for some reason it chose another evolutionary path, and the Vulcans a weak glow of the fire bath in which our land was born. What was her past? Why is this the place where life flourished? We don't know that yet. And on Venus, the whole geological history, on the surface, we can study it with automatic machines. It's a real robot. They cross hundreds of millions of miles of space, gather information along the way, and transport automatic spies to Venus. A landing machine is stored inside the ball of the wedding station. For Venus 13 and Venus 14 have set up the first drilling rigs for another planet in history. They had to operate 500 degrees of heat, 100 degrees of pressure under unimaginable conditions, and that sand, clay, granite basalts were unknown to drill. It wasn't just the first well on Venus that had to be drilled. It was necessary to investigate the soil samples on site and transmit the results to the ground. The complex pipeline system retracts the ground and is sealed. The pressure drops 12 times, and then the sample goes into the automatic lab. Radioisotope source is irradiated by irradiating X-rays of chemical elements. And then it's possible to figure out what this mysterious land of Venus is made of. It's got a lot more eyes than the robot's eyes. The designers doubled the resolution of the new body photometer. Now they're twice as nuanced by the smaller details. The transmission time for each panorama has been reduced. On Venus, the trees have blue leaves, fantasizing a poet once. Recently, even scientists could not tell exactly what color the soil, the stones, and the sky of Venus were, and we could imagine, to see and explore the planet, a complex of fine instruments was created. They have to be absolutely reliable, and so each of them has undergone a severe test of the vibration centrifuge. Bit of a blow. The special cell modeled Venus' incredible atmosphere with its terrible pressure and temperature. Burned as if the instruments were coming out of battle. They took out all the pennies, failed. and then the vents in the aerodynamic pipe. And then we found out that the new instruments installed outside would make the machine unstable on the way down. That's when the engineers won the machine with a smashing flap of the crown. She's been reliable, ensuring the sustainability of the robot.
And here's the final test of rehearsal landing on Venus.
Shooting off the body lids of the odometer. The tests are over. Now the workers are carefully preparing for flight those machines that we will find out later under the names Venus 13 and Venus 14, the photos of which, marked with lightning, will be transmitted to all the press agencies in the world. The landing machine is ready to explore the clouds, the atmosphere, and the soil of Venus. And it finally came that day. October 30th, 1981. By the morning star, Venus 13 was launched. Following her, on November 4, she was followed by her doppelganger Venus 14. Their journey lasted almost 4 months. And here's the last, the hardest, the most long-awaited phase of it. Slowly, the main room of the Flight Control Center is shining over it, a map of the starry sky in which the instruments have worked well. They investigated X-rays, interplanetary plasma, solar wind, and space rays. 2 days ago, the station approached Venus and separated the launch vehicle. But the Talca. All the furniture and meeting the machine with the mysterious atmosphere of the planet. It's far from Earth. At these moments, everything is going as tested in Earth's trials. The launch vehicle was flying at a speed of more than 40 kilometers per hour. He carried a huge overload of his frontal part, which is almost 12 degrees hotter than the sun's surface. The center is waiting. The Flight Control Center started receiving information from the launch vehicle. There's a fifth. The former quality of information is short. First, Kenya. And by batteries. All instruments and jaws work normally. The following information is not recorded by the mass spectrometer. Now Venus is recording new data. Game, I've got it. It appears that among the rare gases, the details of the actuals are clearly not yet translated, and there are not yet any. The device is working well, charge. And we're going to write it down. I know. From who? On the surface. Code. The processing of telemetric information results in an 8-degree slope of the apparatus. Sealing device. We're taking the ground for analysis. That's how the robots started researching the electronic brain. The radio waves brought us the first picture from Venus. The experts, whose minds and hands created this miracle, looked at the new sights, the landscapes of Venus. He was black.
we have to.
And that's when the most interesting thing started. It's being filmed through a red light filter. Through green. Blue light doesn't get in here empty. This is what millions of people saw on Venus' surface after a complex electronic optical complex connected these color panoramas on Earth. 4 times longer than planned, he worked the first robot on Venus. After him, he reached the second planet. Attention! An automatic interplanetary station, Venus 14 on the surface of the planet Venus. According to the telemetric information, the instructor's delivery is underway. It's going down. Once again, the Earth's messenger handed over to Earth new images of the planet. It was another landscape of smooth deserts that were smaller and larger. We now know what these species are made of. Dozens of spectra transferred to the ground described how much potassium, magnesium, silicon, aluminium, calcium, titania, manganese, and vests were in the soil of Venus. Wow. 2 new areas have emerged on the map of Venus, thousands of miles apart. And the stations continue to fly and transmit information from the depths of space. They became artificial planets of the solar system. We were prisoners on the ball, modest, and how many times a dishonest change of years. The obstinate view of the Earth's vastness of darkness followed the longings of the planets. We're going to the planets. We want to know them so that we can better understand history and anticipate the future of our homeland.